Welcome to the RAD Fonteyn International Ballet Competition 2023, live from His Majesty's Theatre. I'm Alexander Campbell, Principal Dancer of the Royal Ballet, and I will be your host for this live stream tonight. It's a huge pleasure to be here to share this night of emotion, artistry and celebration with you. The Fonteyn is the high point of the year at the Royal Academy of Dance and brings together the most talented young dancers from all around the world to compete for the coveted medals. Over the years, it has been a platform for some of the best known and most successful dancers who have gone on to dance with some of the world's most prestigious companies. I took part myself back in 2003 in Birmingham. I still have fond memories of the event and gratitude for the doors that it opened in my own career, including introducing me to my artistic director who gave me my first job, David Bentley. I believe that was the first time he saw me perform, so it really did open doors to my professional career. Tonight's final is the culmination of a week of hard work for our 12 finalists, and that's just whilst they have been here in London, of course. The candidates have actually been preparing for this moment for months, and the 79 candidates who started as semi-finalists this year are all in fact winners. They've all achieved distinction at Advanced 2 level, the pinnacle of the RAD's examination system, and the result of years of training and commitment. Over the last week, the candidates have been based at our headquarters in Battersea, London, where they have enjoyed 3 days of classes and intensive coaching sessions before performing for the judges in 3 days of semi-finals. Tonight we'll see each of the finalists perform 2 variations, a piece of original choreography in the section we call Dancer's Own, where the finalists will perform a variation choreographed by themselves, their teacher or a peer, to a piece of music of their choice, and a classical repertoire variation of their choice. Our panel of esteemed judges, Dame Darcy Bussell, RAD President and Guest Principal Coach of the Royal Ballet, Aaron Watkin, Artistic Director, English National Ballet, and Amanda Britton, Chief Executive, Principal and Artistic Director of Rambert School, will together have the difficult task of selecting our medalists tonight. There are gold, silver and bronze medals to be won, as well as significant prize money, which will be a huge support to our medalists as they embark on a career in dance. Plus, the candidate who has won the Dancer's Own Choreographic Award will be performing here tonight and given their award this evening, and the RAD Fonteyn Audience Choice Award, for which you'll also be able to join in and cast your vote using our online poll. More about that later on. But here on our live stream, you have the best seats in the house to enjoy the evening ahead. And it's almost time for the final to get underway. Soon you will hear from Lynn Wallace, producer, and Tim Arthur, Chief Executive of the RAD, who will introduce the competition and get this evening started before you see our finalists perform. During the interval, stay tuned and don't go away. We have some exciting exclusive content for you, and we'll also be joined by some special guests. You'll also be invited to vote for the dancer you think deserves to take home this year's Audience Choice Award. So keep a note of the candidate numbers of your favourite dancers, as the vote will only be open during the interval, and I'll explain more about how you can do that later on. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our Fonteyn Syndicate benefactors and donors, our corporate partners Freed, Harlequin, Diptyque and The Londoner, as well as our live stream partner Medici.tv. Particular thanks to the funders who offered bursaries to bring our dancers to the Fonteyn from around the world. Dame RAD Fonteyn Scholarship Fund bursaries supported by the Rick Mather David's Grace Foundation and the Maria Bjornsson Memorial Fund. The full program for tonight is available for you to view online on the Fonteyn website at www.thefonteyn.org, and I'll be back in an hour or so at the interval after the first half of the competition. In the meantime, enjoy the hard work and creativity of our candidates for the RAD Fonteyn International Ballet Competition 2023.
Good evening and welcome to His Majesty's Theatre and to the final of the Margot Fonteyn International Ballet Competition 2023. May we remind you that all photography and filming is strictly prohibited, and may we also ask you to turn off your mobile devices. We hope that you enjoy this evening's performance. Thank you.
Good evening to our audience here at His Majesty's Theatre in the heart of London's glittering West End. And to those of you watching wherever you are around the globe on our live stream, welcome to the final of the Margot Fonteyn International Ballet Competition 2023. My name is Tim Arthur and I'm the CEO of the Royal Academy of Dance. I'm joined tonight by our former artistic director and producer of this year's Fonteyn, the wonderful Lynn Wallace. The live stream is being hosted by Alexander Campbell, principal dancer with the Royal Ballet, who will guide you through this evening's performance so you're in very safe hands.
From the 79 semi-finalists from 15 countries, the judges have selected 12 finalists who will be performing two variations for us this evening. Firstly, Dancer's Own, followed by their chosen classical repertoire variation. In 2012, we introduced a new creative opportunity for the candidates called Dancer's Own, giving them the chance to perform a variation choreographed by themselves, their teacher, or a peer to a piece of music of their choice. In 2013, we introduced an award for the best choreography in this section. The winner of this year's choreographic award was selected by the judges from the semi-finalists who choreographed their own variation. And the winner of this award will perform at the end of the Dancer's Own section.
This evening, you, our audience, will have the opportunity of voting for your winner of the Margot Fonteyn Audience Choice Award. On your way in, you will have been handed a voting slip on which you can record the number of your favourite dancer. Please hand your voting slip to the ushers, who will be standing just outside each exit of the auditorium at the beginning of the interval. If you're watching our live stream, don't worry. You can also vote for your favourite through the wonders of modern technology by using the online poll. Details will be shown on the programme notes. The result of the Margot Fonteyn Audience Choice Award will be announced at the end of the evening. The criteria used by the judges in their selection of the finalist, the choreographic award, and tonight's medal winners are printed in your programme.
The first time the competition was taken outside London to Sydney in 2002, we changed the content to give the candidates a broader learning experience by commissioning a choreographer to create a variation for the males and females, giving each candidate the opportunity to be part of a creative process. In line with this creative thinking, former artistic director of the Royal Academy of Dance, Gerard Charles, commissioned Valentino Succhetti, first soloist of the Royal Ballet, to create an ensemble in which all the candidates will appear after the interval. Tonight will mark the world premiere of this work, entitled Jeunesse, with music by Mendelssohn. As part of tonight's celebration, we are delighted that Casper Lench, who joined the Royal Ballet as an Ode Jebsen young dancer, will be performing Robert Battle's Takadimi with music by Sheila Chandra. And now, would you please join with me in welcoming this year's panel of judges. Chair of the panel, President of the Royal Academy of Dance, Dame Darcy Bussell. Chief Executive, Principal and Artistic Director, Rambert School, Amanda Britton. Artistic Director, English National Ballet, Aaron Watkin. It now gives me pleasure to introduce our pianists who will be playing for the classical repertoire variations, Richard Norris, and Jonathan Still.
And finally, we'd like to take this opportunity of congratulating all of the semi-finalists on their achievement thus far and wish them all great happiness and success in the future. We would also like to acknowledge the dedication and hard work of all the candidates' teachers over the years and the support and encouragement of their parents and families, many of whom are in the room tonight. And if you want to know if you're sat next to one of the parents or families, they'll be the people biting their fingernails and sweating profusely. And as the Fonteyn returns to His Majesty's Theatre for the 7th time in the competition's history, we invite you to sit back and enjoy the stars of the future. The show is about to begin.
Would you please welcome the finalists of the Margot Fonteyn International Ballet Competition 2023.
Well, welcome to the interval, and time to catch your breath after those amazing performances that we've just witnessed here at His Majesty's Theatre. I think you'll agree that we have seen as high a standard as we've ever seen at the competition, with everyone absolutely giving their all. I certainly don't envy the judges on decisions that they'll have to make later on. Now, you have seen the dancers perform. You may want to find out more about them. The full program for tonight is available for you to view online on the Fonteyn website at www.thefonteyn.org. And if you would like a souvenir or memento of this year's Fonteyn, you can also buy a program there. As promised earlier, you can now vote for the Audience Choice Award. This is very easy to do and should only take a few seconds. Don't forget, you can only submit one vote for one candidate. Voting is only available to our viewers watching the live broadcast. Please do not vote if you're watching on demand, as your vote won't count. So please do join in and vote for your favourite dancer of the evening. Your votes will be added to the votes of the audience here this evening at His Majesty's Theatre. And the Audience Choice Award winner will be announced along with the other prize winners at the end of the evening. You can place your vote while you are watching via medici.tv. Simply scroll down to Programme Notes and select Vote for the Audience Choice Award, and that will take you through to our voting page. Once you're on the voting page, simply select the candidate number for the dancer who you think has been the most outstanding this evening and hit the red button to submit your vote. You have from now until the end of the interval to vote. In a few minutes, we'll get to chat with some of the people involved in tonight's performance and from competitions from previous years. But first, we've got a short film for you about the continuing legacy of Margot Fonteyn, including the memories of some of the dancers that she's inspired.
It's something I've thought about a huge amount. What was it that made Margot so special? I think it was a combination of many things.
Margot Fonteyn was a source of inspiration when I was growing up as a young dancer.
She was so humble. She was so dedicated to her work. She didn't stick out as anybody special. She just worked very, very quietly and very, very directly. But when she came on stage, she just changed personalities. She transformed that audience.
She just had this sparkle, and you noticed that straight away.
Perfect technique, crystalline, musicality.
She was, for me, the ultimate ballerina.
It's this ability to communicate with the audience, to transform everybody's feelings to another place. An amazing artist.
You felt that you couldn't take your eyes off her. She just commanded your attention. She was like a magnet. Plus the fact that she was such an extraordinary role model for all of us. She set a standard for how you applied yourself, and she had the most wonderful sense of humor. So she could have a really good giggle, and I think that was a way she let off steam. So she was a huge part of my professional life.
It was such an exciting experience having Margot Fonteyn there on the day to present this award to me. And in fact, I have come across some old diaries that I wrote at that time about my day and my experience of what was then called the Adeline competition. Guess who the judges were? 1, Dame Margot Fonteyn. 2, David Wall. 3, Pamela May. And 4, Phyllis Bedells. What a combination! ! How lucky could I be to have the honour of Margot Fonteyn judging? Knowing that she was judging made me dance even better, I think. Anyway, finally the gold medal was called out, and it went to number 2, me. I kissed her when she gave me the medal. Although I was relieved it was over, I couldn't sleep much that night. I felt very happy. I was glad that directors and important people saw me today. What will my future bring?
I did have the great privilege of being coached by Margot for the Firebird, but it was only 1 hour, giving us the feelings that she used to have and the feelings that she got from Kasavna.
Dame Margot Fonteyn taught the role to Monica Mason, and Monica Mason taught the role to me, and that passing down is paramount and incredible, and it makes you feel like you have a link with the past.
Leanne Benjamin was one of the most wonderful dancers to work with, always. I think that what she was thrilled to have was the line travelling through from Cassavana to Fonteyn to myself and then on to her. She loved the idea that there was a link with the past.
I did get coached by Margot Fonteyn when I was 20 years old, and I was doing my first Swan Lake with the Royal Ballet Company. And it was, gosh, like a dream come true to think an artist of her, stature and what she meant to ballet, to have her on my own in a studio with her was extraordinary, and I will never forget it. And I was terrified, thinking that she was going to rip me to shreds on my ability and technique and things like that, but it wasn't. It was so much about how the story has to be told. Every step, basically, had to have a meaning.
The memory of her has stayed forever, and I hope I will always have that memory of her.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that affectionate look at Margot Fonteyn's influence on generations of dancers who still hold her in so much awe and affection. Now, I'd like to introduce my special guests for this part of the evening here to share their personal experiences and perspectives on this unique ballet competition. We have Valentino Zucchetti, first soloist for the Royal Ballet, and Isabel Brewers, first artist of English National Ballet. Welcome to you both. I'm going to start with you, Valentino, because you have created this year's commissioned choreography. Tell us about Jeunesse, please.
Well, Jeunesse was very much an idea to showcase the candidates and to celebrate their hard work for the week. I think it's great that they get an opportunity tonight to contribute to the evening and to feel part of what has been a journey for them. I've pushed them. They are pushed, and one of the reasons why I do that is because I like to see how much better they can improve, and I can assure you that from last Sunday to now, they've just kept getting better and better, and I think they're as excited as I am to show the results of this gradual build-up, and I'm quite nervous, actually.
Well, we're excited and looking forward to seeing it. My understanding is it's a cast of 79?
Yes, so we wanted to be as inclusive as possible, so every single candidate is taking part in the choreography. This has been a logistical challenge for me, but also a great challenge to undertake. Everyone is on stage. I've tried my absolute best to have them all on stage as much as possible, so they dance just as much as my formations. So the audience is going to have quite a constant wave of dancers just delivering steps and formations and just perform their hearts out.
Is this the largest cast you've ever worked with?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
We're looking forward to it, very exciting. Isabel, as I flick over to my questions for you, you won the silver medal at the forerunner of this competition, the Genet, in 2013, Glasgow, yes? Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and what you enjoyed about it?
Yeah, I mean, where do I begin? First of all, I think what's really special about this competition is that it's not just a night where you pull out a solo that you've practiced for months. It's really a learning curve, and you have the opportunity to work with choreographers like Valentino. In my year, it was Robert Benet, who actually did a solo for each of us. And it was amazing to work with different creatives and make networks and friendships that I still keep in contact with now. And yeah, just have the opportunity to engage and work with different artists and kind of work with the next generation alongside you. And of course, being greeted by the bagpipes when we got there was quite fun as well.
I was going to ask about that, and particularly about the theatre. We're obviously at His Majesty's Theatre here in London, a magnificent space. Had you performed in Glasgow before?
No, I'd never, and I think that's one of the amazing things, about the RAD and about competitions like this, is that it has seeds and networks all over the world, and you can perform on the most illustrious stages all over the world, and it's such an important opportunity for a budding dancer. Maybe many of these aren't in professional training yet or are aspiring to become professional dancers, and this is really a gateway into that, and not only into companies but also being on illustrious stages and getting used to different conditions and different audiences, and yeah, just really putting your craft into practice.
Exactly. And Valentino, you competed quite successfully. You just reminded me before we came on air, 2006 in Hong Kong. What was the stage like there? Had you performed in Hong Kong before? Have you performed in Hong Kong since?
No, I never performed in Hong Kong before or since. I remember it being an amazing experience because the Hong Kong Art Center is beautiful, has wonderful studios, and we've done all the quarterfinals and semifinals and finals on stage. So every step of the way was very much a performance, and it was an exciting experience for me. It was the first competition that I actually won, so it really helped building confidence. But one thing that stood out for me compared to other competition that I've done before is that the environment was very constructive. So it really felt like it was a week of a summer course where I learned a lot, and at the end I just showcased my variation. And there was such a sense of camaraderie between us candidates, and this is what I'm seeing right now with my candidates for my piece, because as I said before, I've challenged them quite a bit, and I see them helping each other. Even people that are not from the same school or from the same country, they help each other when there's a language barrier, for example. Like, I try my best with my 3 languages, but there is a lot more languages than I can speak, and they really help each other. So that was really nice to see. I didn't feel like anybody was trying to overshine themselves in front of me. So it feels like a very constructive, a healthy environment.
That's exactly what I experienced, in my time as well. They're obviously doing something right to create that environment to allow that to happen. How do you think the candidates or the finalists are going tonight? Isabel, we'll start with you. You've been watching. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick. I wouldn't want to be one of the judges. There's an amazing variety of talents and an amazing variety of personalities. I think that's what I enjoy watching the most, and there was such a spark and such a glint in so many of their eyes, and to see the dancers' own choreography as well was really interesting to kind of get a different perspective from the dancers. So yeah, some really mature artists as well. I was very surprised. I've got some work to do when I get back to the studio on Monday.
They're inspiring us, eh? Val, what do you reckon?
I think some true individuality is coming through, and I think the idea of having the dancers' own choreography is great, because then they can all really showcase their own qualities, and then you can see some of those qualities in their classical solos, or you don't. So it's very nice to see when you can see these individual qualities or not. So I think it's a good level. It's a really good level this year, and I'm surprised also because all of them are in my piece, but I didn't know them at all when I started rehearsing with them. I've seen them perform for the first time tonight, and it's really strange the totally different dancer I thought they were compared to what I see they are now. So it's if I would have started the choreography now, I probably would have done something different now that I know them better. But it's gone this way, and I think they're gonna shine. I think everybody's gonna shine in my piece, but I think also the finalists are gonna have their moments to shine and to deliver.
It's I think one of the benefits of having the opportunity to do 2 variations, 2 solos. Did you have Dancer's Own when you were there in 2013? We didn't have Dancer's Own. It's a new thing. What did you do for Dancer's Own? Did you choreograph your own?
So I unfortunately do not have the choreographic talent, but I had a classmate of mine who was an amazing choreographer, Alejandro, and he created a really beautiful Baroque piece, and I still remember part of the steps of it now. And I think it's a real testament to the platform that a competition like this can offer, not just to the dancers that are on stage, but also to fellow classmates or other students that you work with, to actually create and showcase your other talents on stage. So yeah, I really enjoyed that part because I could then really contrast that. I did quite a spicy and sparky dancer's own solo, and then like very classical, and then on top of that we also had the chance to do a piece by Robert Benet. So it was a very variegated and very multifaceted competition experience. And I mean, I think like Valentino said, not competition experience, really workshopping experience, because it really felt like a process rather than just a show on the night. So yeah.
And you've both spoken about that, the camaraderie that is fostered in this competition, possibly almost unique in ballet competitions around the world, I'd say. You both also said that you developed sort of lifelong relationships, friendships with people that you competed with. Is that something you had to work on, or is there a piece of advice that you would give to the finalists and the candidates, actually all of them, going forward from this experience to maintain those relationships, or what should they look to do as using this as a jumping off point, a base point?
I think they should use all the relationship that they fostered in this week to bring them forward. It's a lot easier now with all the social media and all of that, so they can keep each other's sort of like look at each other's developments. And I think they've been coached by many people this week, and they must have gotten a lot of information. I mean, I just think, again, from myself, I try to throw at them so much. Some of them have never done pas de deux before, so I had to teach them, as quick as possible some pas de deux things. Some people have never danced together with other people. So everything they've learned today from all the coaches and myself and each other, actually, to really unpack them for the time going forward, unpack it and use it constructively to the development of their careers and their skill.
Isabel?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the friendships that you build here, which are kind of a natural thing that happen throughout the week. I think something that really struck me is amazing how small the ballet world is, and people that I just had great interactions with are now colleagues or friends in other companies, and I've had the chance to take class in other companies because of those kind of networks that I've built. So really just foster those friendships and foster those relationships, because you never know where they're going to land you, and they're great ways to inspire yourself as well, with different languages and different vocabularies of movement and different perspectives on the art form in different countries. So.
And one final question for you both. If someone was looking at potentially doing this competition, is there a piece of advice you would give them? Looking to get involved in the competition maybe next year or in the coming years?
I think absolutely do. Get involved, and I think find pleasure into just developing the dancer's own variation as well, because I think that in itself is such a great opportunity. And just be reminded, don't be scared about it. I think, as we discussed, I think a lot of ballet competition can be quite daunting. This definitely isn't one of them. Feel free to come, even if you don't feel 100% sure about competing. If you've never competed before, this is definitely a great competition as a starter to sort of get you confident, get you going in the most constructive way possible. So come.
Sorry, Isabel?
Yeah, and I mean, I'd say, art is so subjective, so no matter what the result, it is really about the experience, about the whole week, the whole learning curve that you're going to experience on this competition. So as Valentino said, no matter what phase you're in, whether you're a bit tentative or, you're not sure whether you're in your best form yet, I think it's an amazing springboard, and you'll make incredible lasting connections, and just really be present in every moment, and make sure you do reach out to those friends and try and chit-chat and connect, because, you never know where that's going to lead you.
Well, unanimous then. If you are thinking about getting involved, do it. It's a wonderful experience, and over many years, many years. Listen, thank you both so much for joining us today. We're very much looking forward to the rest of the evening, particularly Jeunesse. Yes, it's coming up. Thank you very much for joining both of you. Cheers. Thank you. So, we've had some unique perspectives from Valentino and Isabel. We're going to carry on now with the rest of our evening. Fascinating to hear from people from across different competitions, Hong Kong, Glasgow. Amazing. But now, a reminder that voting for the Audience Choice Award closes in 10 minutes, so make sure you get your vote in now for your favourite candidate. The link is in the programme notes below. Next, we have another short film for you featuring competition stories from around the world. We take a look at some of the experiences of taking part in the Fonteyn and its forerunner, the Genet. We will now hear from previous candidates who share how it felt to take part and how it has shaped them and their dance careers since. We would also love to hear your memories and stories. Do share your stories on social media, and don't forget to use the hashtag Fonteyn2023. Let's take a look at the film.
Students have really benefited from the competition. They have been enriched with technique, artistry, and of course, lifelong friends. Those that won medals from my school, the Marie Walter Mann Dance Academy, over the years, went on to have wonderful careers. I'll mention a few of those. 1990 was the first time that I entered the competition for students, and the gold medal was won by Jane Finney. She went on to the Australian Ballet School and then had a wonderful long career with the Australian Ballet Company. So for those that win medals, it sets up the next stage of their career. So there were many that did win medals over the years, but everyone was enriched. And of course, a huge highlight is when you are able to take your own daughter to the Genet. That was Veronica Mann, and that was 1997, and she won the gold medal. So obviously that was amazing, wonderful. She has lifelong friends, and it paved her way with the Australian Ballet School and on to have a career in the Australian Ballet. Then she danced in America and then finished her career with Sydney Dance Company. So, you know, it's a wonderful, wonderful competition, run very holistically. I can't fault it, and the training that they get during that week is just so beneficial.
Hi everyone, I'm Olivia Bell. I competed in the Genet competition in 1994, and I have so many fond memories of that time. Coming from Newcastle in Australia, it was the first opportunity that I had to present myself to the world on an international level, and I'm very grateful to the RAD for opening the doors and giving me that first step into a professional career.
Hello everyone, Carol Kettlewell here, formerly from South Africa, currently from the Gold Coast, Australia. I am very excited to be at the Fonteyn Award Finals this year in London. I have a small connection to the event in that I did have a finalist in the 1990s and a semi-finalist in Wellington. I am thrilled to be celebrating the dancers' achievements this evening along with many of my esteemed colleagues.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Jones and I'm from Wales in the UK. I competed at the Genet International Ballet Competition in 2019 in Toronto, Canada, where I was lucky enough to be selected as one of the finalists. Genet for me was an amazing experience and quite an important part of my training, I think. Becoming a finalist was one of the first times that I received some recognition from the ballet world on an international level, and it really made me believe in myself and think, I can do this, I can be successful in the ballet world, and it really started to build my self-confidence, which was such an amazing stepping stone in my training and in my career. I'm now a dancer at Ballet Cymru in Newport, Wales, and I honestly am so grateful for my experience and time at the Genet Ballet Competition.
Hi there, I'm Monet and I'm a dancer with the Royal New Zealand Ballet. In 2018 I had the privilege of performing in Hong Kong at the Genet Awards, and fortunately I was awarded the gold medal, which I'm still in awe of to this day. I hold up the memories like no other. It's helped shape my career, it's given me confidence moving forward and absolute surety that this is what I want to do. There's nothing I love more than performing on stage. I was very privileged to have my teachers with me, and one of the things that was so unique about the Genet was getting to room with other dancers who you'd never met before, and because of that you form friendships and bonds that you never ever let go of, and I'm still in contact with a lot of them to this day. Yeah, it makes you learn how to stand together, to work as a team and not just compete against each other, which is something that I really love about the Genet.
Hello, I'm Hilary Kaplan from Sydney. Our school, Alegria, has been entering students into the Genet competition since 2002, when the Genet first came to Sydney. The Genet, or Fonteyn International Ballet Competition, has always been regarded as a very prestigious international ballet competition and has afforded our students the opportunity to work with top professional coaches and choreographers, and also to perform for and receive invaluable feedback from renowned leaders in the dance world, including artistic directors of top companies and company schools. Our students, whether they have been medalists, finalists, or semi-finalists, have always come away from Genet very happy, inspired, and motivated. I myself have traveled to many Genets all over the world. The atmosphere at a Genet is electric, and it's always wonderful to see old friends from all over the world. And I must say, I feel very honored and privileged to be part of this tight-knit fraternity.
I think the best thing for me was that it was just having all of these different dancers coming from different countries all over the world and meeting them all. As New Zealand, it's a bit isolating at times, so it was really just amazing to have like-minded people doing the awards all together. I remember when we were in Her Majesty's Theatre doing the finals, there was lumps and bumps on the stage because it was for Phantom of the Opera at the time. And so there must have been trapdoors and stuff like that, so we're all helping each other out and just making sure everyone knew not to go into a corner where there was going to be a bit of a lump or a bump if we were going to do a turn or something. And yeah, it was a really special time. I think I was probably one of the only people in the finals that wasn't in full-time training. I was at Philippa Campbell School of Ballet at the time, but everyone was just really lovely and accepting.
Hi everyone, I'm Grant Kennedy from the RAD in Sydney. The 2016 Genet in Sydney and the 2012 Genet in Wellington have been a highlight of my professional career to date. It was a pleasure to work with the candidates who really experience the benefit of live music for a week, and to perform on stage with live music is another great privilege.
Hello, my name is Lana Jones and I'm in Australia, and I was a silver medalist for the Adeline Genet Awards in 1999. I was 15, going overseas to the very special London. My first encounter with, ballet on an international stage. And for me, it was so wonderful to be surrounded by like-minded people, have exceptional coaching, and get the experience to dance on a world stage. I'll never forget starting second act and standing there behind the curtain, waiting in my position and being nervous, of course, but that's normal. And then curtain rising and just feeling that beautiful gush of wind come across, and knowing that I was in a very special place and a very special place in my career.
Hello, so my name is Melissa Glover and I took part in the Genet when I was 17 years old back in 1993 when I was a student at Elmhurst Ballet School, and it was an amazing thing to be part of. What I remember about it is that it went incredibly fast. It's a bit like your wedding day, and you look back and it's just a blur. I left my tutu a little bit too close to my brother's hamster cage on the table, and he managed to get hold of it, and so my mum had to re-scallop all of the tutu just before we went up without me knowing. And as I said, that it just is an amazing thing to take part in.
Hello. I'm Shelley Jacopetti, Interim National Director for RAD Australia. In 2016, I was fortunate to be part of the RAD team that hosted the Fonteyn, then the Genet in Sydney. It was there that I witnessed firsthand the incredible collaboration and teamwork that goes into making an event like this a big success. I also remember the feeling of exhilaration watching the dancers performing in the finals, the beautiful Sydney Opera House stage, and my immense pride in seeing Australian dancers excel on that global stage. Since then, I have appreciated the opportunities the Fonteyn brings to dancers and teachers, not only to showcase their talent, but also to create lifelong connections within the global dance community. It was an honour to be a part of it in 2016, and I look forward to the future where we continue to nurture young dancers through this incredible competition.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that glimpse into the global nature of the competition and the huge impact it continues to have on the careers of young dancers. And I hope you have all cast your votes for the Audience Choice Award. Voting is now closed, and the winner will be revealed later on this evening. Next up this evening, we'll see all the candidates perform the commissioned ensemble entitled Jeunesse, choreographed by Valentino Zucchetti and with music by Mendelssohn. This will be followed by our guest performance of Taka Di Mi, performed by Casper Lensch, choreographed by Robert Battle and restaged by Kanji Sigawa, with music by Sheila Chandra. The evening will conclude with the announcement of medalists and award winners and the presentation of medals. So, once again, sit back and enjoy these thrilling performances and the exciting announcement of tonight's winners and medalists. I'll be back after the second half of the final to reflect on what we've seen this evening.
Why do I dance? I dance because I want to be like them. I want to dance, to perform.
I want to shine in the spotlight. I want to be a dancer.
I love teaching dance. It's my calling. Some people don't know there's a dancer inside each of us.
Every week I get to see progress. Some people have never danced, and then before you know it, they're leaping across the floor.
We're teaching a new generation. That's why I do it.
We've always taught dance. We're just teaching more of it.
Some of us want to pass exams.
To stay on our feet.
To make new friends.
I dance to be part of a community.
To feel more confident.
Dancing makes me feel brave.
It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel free, like I'm flying. Everybody can dance.
It fits into our lives in so many ways.
It's art, it's fitness, it's a community.
Everyone needs something in their life that makes them feel happy. And who doesn't want to feel that?
Everybody can dance.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing night. Could we have one more round of applause, please, for all the dancers in Jeunesse? And for the quite extraordinary Casper Lench. Now, I have to be honest, it's not very often that I get the chance to be on a West End stage, and that's a surprise, and particularly this one. And I cannot tell you how tempted I was to come out dressed as the Phantom. I mean, tempted enough to buy this. That's £12 I'll never get back. But what I do want to say, particularly on this moment, on this stage, is how unbelievably grateful I am to all of the teachers that work with the RAD right around the world. The RAD, in case people don't know, create amazing teachers, and it's amazing teachers that create amazing dancers. Without their inspiration and their passion and their love for what they do, the art form wouldn't be what it is now, and they wouldn't be able to pass on that knowledge to the next generation. I find it truly breathtaking, and I'm humbled by their compassion and their commitment to what they do, and the results that they get from these incredible young people that I've seen before me today. So from the bottom of my heart to all the teachers, particularly the ones that are watching right around the world, thank you for everything you do. Now, oh, go on, and one more round of applause. They are brilliant. So, as you can all appreciate, a great many people work extremely hard in many different roles to ensure that the competition runs smoothly. Sincere thanks are due to our sponsors, Harlequin, and to Freed for making and supplying the costumes for Jeunesse. We are very grateful to the Dame Margot Fonteyn Scholarship Fund for their continued support of the competition this year. And I would like to say a heartfelt thanks to our Fonteyn Benefactors Syndicate, to Joe Manukian, to Gerald and Gail Ronson Family Foundation, the Buffini Chow Foundation, and Stephen and Joy Moss. Thank you for all of those who supported the Fonteyn bursaries and enabled many of these talented young dancers to travel to London to take part in this year's competition. We are very grateful for the generous grants from the Maria Bjornsson Memorial Fund, the Dame Margot Fonteyn Scholarship Fund, supported by the Rick Mather David Scrace Foundation, and our other incredible supporters who made this possible. Thank you too to Lynn Wallace for the continued support through the Lynn Wallace Bursary Fund. And I'd like to take... And I would like to take this opportunity to announce that next year, at the request of Lynn, a new award will be introduced to be funded by the Lynn Wallace Bursary Fund. It will be awarded to the semi-finalist who, in the opinion of the judges, shows an innate sense of musicality. A special thank you to Mrs. Ode Yebsen for her transformational support of the Ode Yebsen Studio Theatre, where our semi-finals were hosted for the first time this year. I would also like to thank Lady Dorfman, Ida Levine and Mauro Beretta for their invaluable guidance and support to the team this year. We are profoundly grateful to each and every one of you, without whom we could not have presented this year's Fonteyn competition. And finally, a heartfelt thank you to our supporters, volunteers, the front of house and backstage staff at His Majesty's Theatre. They've been fantastic with us. It's been quite an operation, as you can imagine, getting this all up in one day. And the production and marketing teams at the RAD. Special thanks to Alexander Campbell for hosting the live stream, Valentino Zucchetti for Jeunesse, which was so beautifully performed by our candidates, and to tonight's guest artist, Casper Lench. And of course, I would like to thank Lynn, who joins me back on stage.
After such an intense competition and awe-inspiring performances, we are proud to present to you all the exceptionally talented group of candidates who have graced the stage with their presence tonight. Would you please welcome the semi-finalists? And the finalists.
Thank you and congratulations to each of you, and also to your teachers and your parents, whose inspiration and sacrifices have helped bring you here today. Well done, everybody.
Would you now please welcome to the stage the competition faculty. Sarah Wilder. Endelyn Taylor. David Nixon. Guest choreographer, Valentino Zucchetti. Danish choreologist, Mayumi Hotta. And our pianists, Richard Norris, and Jonathan Still. And finally, would you welcome the distinguished members of the jury, Dame Darcy Bussell. Amanda Britton. And Aaron Watkin.
So earlier this afternoon at RAD headquarters, the Bedell's Bursary took place. This competition is for younger dancers who have been trained by Royal Academy of Dance teachers, and we are delighted to have the winner here today to accept the award from Dame Darcy.
And the award for the Bedell's Bursary winner goes to India Kennedy.
Our next prize goes to the winner of the Dancer's Own Choreographic Award, which is funded by the Lynn Wallace Bursary Fund.
And the winner is Alfie Lee Hall. Congratulations, well done. Beautifully performed as well, really.
Okay, now we come to the Margot Fonteyn Audience Choice Award. The winner is the competitor who, in the opinion of you, the audience, merits a special award and will be presented by Christopher Norse, chairman of the Dame Margot Fonteyn Scholarship Fund.
And the winner is Zai Callisto.
And so we come to the medal winners.
So it's bronze, and because it's been such an exceptional final, we actually have 2 bronze winners. Yes, it's been pretty difficult. And so the first bronze goes to Ed Cooley. Superb. Very difficult. So yeah. And the second bronze goes to Zai Callisto. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Really brilliant. You just go from strength to strength. One silver. Again, incredibly difficult for us judges, but it goes to a girl, and and it's number 4, Lucia Moore. Really funny. You're going to go a long way. This is special. We don't always give golds out because obviously, you know, it's a pretty major award. But this gold medalist definitely stood out. Number 12, Jacob Hughes. Come forward, come forward, come forward. All of you.
What a night. Amazing. Congratulations, everybody. Finally, thank you to our judges, Dame Darcy Bussell, Amanda Britton, and Aaron Watkins. Thank you. And of course, once again, to the producer of this year's spectacular Fonteyn, Lynn Wallace.
Thank you very much.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the conclusion of the Fonteyn 2023. Once again, many thanks and congratulations to all of this year's competitors. You've done so incredibly well, and honestly, guys, I'm so unbelievably proud of you, as is the whole RAD. Thank you so much for being here. So it only remains for me to wish you all a safe journey home. And to those of you joining us online, thank you for spending time with us wherever you are in the world. I hope to see as many of you as possible at next year's Fonteyn. Thank you and good night.
So the curtain has closed on Fonteyn 23, but right now behind the curtain on stage, I'm sure all our dancers are reliving each and every moment of this exciting Fonteyn week. And even if they're not ending the week as a winner or with a medal, each and every candidate will have made lifelong friendships and leave with wonderful memories of Fonteyn 23 to cherish forever. Don't forget, if you would like to watch the live stream again, it will be shortly available on demand on Medici.tv, and then after 7 days you will be able to become a Medici.tv subscriber to see this evening's final again. We hope to see you at the competition next year. If you would like to hear the latest news about the Margot Fonteyn International Ballet Competition and be the first to know where and when next year's Fonteyn event will take place, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter at www.thefonteyn.org. But now, from the Royal Academy of Dance, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been an absolute honour to be your host this evening. Goodbye.